Here we do research related to stormwater management as far as quality and quantity control. That relates to us because we all enjoy our surface water bodies, not to mention it's a valuable resource to us. So that's where we get our drinking water sometimes. That's also where we go for recreational activities. And we want to be able to do that. So if our stormwater runoff is very polluted, it discharges directly to our waters, and then we're not able to use them because they're impaired. This is our little watershed, if you will. So we'd spread soil out on here, then we will create sheet flow from this piping, and that'll generate runoff coming down our area here. And then it'll direct water over to our inlet over here where we have our inlet protection device. And then we can take samples both upstream and downstream of our inlet protection device to gauge the efficiency of the system.
Inlet devices are mainly used for the protection of the receiving water bodies. The reason why we use them is to remove sediment and pollutants that are associated with the sediment before they enter into a receiving water body. Now, these receiving water bodies can be surface waters or they can be groundwaters. And in many cases, such as springs and estuaries, we want to protect the groundwater as well as we want to protect the surface waters. There are various types of inlet devices. These devices vary from very sophisticated devices to ones that are very easy and inexpensive to make. Many of them function at a higher level than others. However, all of them are made to prevent water from actually building up in the street. The devices are primarily used for filtration. So what we're removing is those sediment particles which express themselves as a surrogate measure called turbidity. The solids themselves have associated with them chemicals, and those chemicals are typically called nutrients, and the ones that are of main concern within the state of Florida, the nutrients of concern, are nitrogen and phosphorus. So the nitrogen and phosphorus that are attached to the particles are the ones that we're trying to remove.
The erosion and sediment control work under this project is worked with DEP to protect our state waters. We value our state waters. They're important to all Floridians. The standards that are being created as a part of this project are being currently vetted through an industry group of erosion and sediment control professionals, including DEP, including the water management districts, including erosion and sediment control contractors. Ultimately, the results of this work will make their way into the 2007 Erosion and Sediment Control Designer's Manual, which will be updated to include the performance measures that have been worked out by this project. We want to equip contractors to intelligently and wisely decide what the best tools for the job are, and that's a part of this work. That's why we're meeting with them. That's why we want to implement them with the wisdom of the industry and be very careful to protect our precious waters.